Hello everybody and welcome to the League Zero Super Formula Championship finale here at the end of our season. We've come to Monza with a championship already settled for Adam Merchant, who is now nursing an unassailable 67-point lead over the rest of the field, and 17 drivers who are here tonight on this wonderful Monza circuit to round out our season. It's myself, Ewan, and Dean Biggles alongside me for this final round of the campaign. And good to be alongside you for this one, Biggles. I mean, it's Monza. I mean, very much looking forward to that. It's slightly unfortunate that we haven't got a championship fight, but we know that Adam Merchant has been the runaway leader, especially after the first 4 or 5 rounds or so. Really started to take charge of the title. I would start to say, actually, stay about from Road America-ish onwards, after everybody ran out of fuel at Fuji, if you remember all those weeks ago. And then it started to go a bit wrong for Noddy ML at Road America, and from then on, Adam Merchant really wasn't caught by anybody. But yeah, it's effectively a one-off individual race for everybody here today, round 11. And it's at Monza, which I think is a fantastic venue, by the way, to have our final round of the season.
Yeah, the Temple of Speed is the place to be. It's a classic track. It's been around since really the dawn of time of racing. And I'm going to be looking forward to seeing these cars pedal their way around here this evening. Not the biggest grid that we're going to have like we had at the start of the season, but of course it's wrapping up. It's been exhausting. We've come down to this one. And as you'd mentioned there, we'll go to those standings. You know, it's already been wrapped up, of course, from Mr. Merchant there for the Black Squid Racing. But Jaden Callaway is not going to be here this evening as well, too. So neither Noddy ML. So Elliot Court is here. Fitzsimmons is here. Fabian Sanchez. So if there's a bit of a switcheroo between those drivers, I don't think 46 points up for grabs, Elliot Court, to try to steal that P3 away from Noddy in the championship.
Yeah, I think, it's last day of the season, as you say, and people generally aren't quite so inclined to turn up for the last race as they are for the first. But yeah, it's 17 in the field here today. As you can see, not too many changes should happen there. Callaway and ML could have had a good fight for second tonight, but they're not here. So it's really not going to be much of a story there. Elliot Court, Finley Fitzsimmons, Fabian Sanchez, though, might be the ones we look for. It's only for 4th in the championship. Far more interesting probably is going to be their battle for the race win, because they've qualified 1, 2 and 3, I can tell you, as the qualifying session just draws to a close here from Monza for race number 1. We'll bring you up the starting grid, and it has Fitzsimmons at the top with Elliot Court alongside. Fabian Sanchez and Elliot Rolls then on row 2, ahead of Saji Zuhair, who won at Fuji all those bits ago, and Leo Delmat, who's on row 3 with him. Alex Penn and Jason Meyer then share row 4, with James Turnbull and Gareth McAllister running up the top 10. Robert Nobles and Jerry Seneb on row 6. Fed Anthony Zeit, Francisco Souza, Arturo Mayorga, Antonio Bianchi and Austin Thomas, who round out the 17 drivers in the field. Slightly concerned at the back, actually, that 5 of those at the back wouldn't actually get onto the grid because they were taking a while, but they are just taking their time, and so that's fine. Shorter first race, as you can hear, just 8 laps for race number 1. Then we'll reverse the top 5 and go for race 2 all over again. This run down towards turn 1, though, going to be crucial in both races.
Absolutely. It's a thriller, isn't it? You've got to get the cars through. It's very, very narrow, and it's a matter of, just trying to squeeze your cars through there safely if you can. If not, you can use the runoff area, the escape area, of course, there. Suffer a little bit of a slowdown if you have to, but get your car in one piece for the 8-lap sprint shootout here for the Heat 1.
In the middle of May, just past 20 past 1 in the afternoon, and sky-high track temperatures at 48 degrees Celsius. Let's hope that that's not too much of a problem in this sprint race. It might become a bit more of an issue in the second race of the day, when we of course race for a little bit longer. But yeah, it's quite high temperatures. Bianchi and Thomas unfortunately look like they may not start. They're at the back end of the field, and that's why we waited the whole 2 minutes there. They're starting from pit lane, though. They are at least going to start, but perhaps sensibly, not wanting to do it on the circuit. Here we go. 8 laps in race 1 here from Monza in the League Zero Super Formula finale. And it's a good start from Elliot Court on the inside line. He's going to have a narrow line on the way down towards turn number 1, but he is going to just about have the right line anyway. So, contact, side-by-side contact between the two Brits as Court goes round the outside through turn 2. He'll get the better traction, and he'll lead Finley Fitzsimmons off of the first chicane for the first time, but Fitzsimmons tries to take the lead back immediately. They're both running in the dirt and the grass almost on the outside line, trying to overtake one another, and Fitzsimmons goes again into the second chicane. Court gives him room. Fitzsimmons returns the favour. Fabian Sanchez in the background will try and get involved, but can't for the moment. It's Court who leads after a great battle to start this race.
So far so good. All the drivers through, I believe, as well too, Ewan. So you can't complain with that, especially lap 1, corner 1, turn 1 shenanigans that happens here in Monza. So there it is. Of course, Elliot Court gets into the lead of this race from Fitzsimmons and then Sanchez.
Into Ascari. Single file all the way down, and as you say, a great start. It was a good start, but unfortunately, as they get through the rest of the lap, it's Alex Penn who's off the road there at Ascari. Don't know if there was contact, and he just ran. He's actually in a bit of a Porsche delivery there. You can see in the Super Formula they getting involved in the Super Formulas by the looks of things, but anyway, drops down to 15th place, and that's a very, very costly error. If you're going to make an error, then don't make it in the opening moments of a race, because it does cost you much more than normal. Look at that, Sanchez, dramatic move to the inside there as he races down in towards turn number 1. Neither of them on the button, they're both recharging by the looks of things, in towards turn number 1. In fact, Sanchez will now use some off of turn 2, and Fitzsimmons strapped to the inside of turn 2 again means that he can't get through. Gareth McAllister misses the first chicane completely. Yep. He'll have a big slowdown. Oh, and there's contact there as well between Delmar and Rolls coming through the Curva Grande for the second time. Goodness me, it's all happening at the moment. Side by side for 5th, and they will give each other the room. Leo Delmar will get into the top 5.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. It's great. Monza produces some fantastic racing. That's around the outside. That's going to be in the first Lesmo. That's going to be pretty wide. You get out there, you're getting a bit of strife. Second Lesmo, you want to get the power down there. Of course, you get a little bit of a straightaway. You get DRS in Formula 1, you won't get it here. But, of course, you'll take them all the way down into Ascari. So, wow, somewhat fantastic racing we're getting here this evening.
And another look down the inside there. Was that Nobles coming down the inside of Turnbull, maybe into Ascari? It's just action everywhere you look at the moment on this racetrack, and exactly what you hope for from Monza. And it might have gone wrong for Nobles, actually. Yeah. He's towed back to pit lane, so and he's got a meatball. I fear that it may have gone wrong for Robert Nobles in trying to make that move a few moments ago, as we go back to the leaders. Zuhair very close behind Fitzsimmons and Sanchez at the very top end of the field. Elliot Court is racing away with the lead because of this battle for second position, which is really getting dragged in amongst itself. Side by side further down between Rolls and Delmar again. Elliot Rolls on the inside will keep that 5th place ahead of Leo Delmar and Jace Meyer, who's there as well.
Just having a look at what happened to Robert Nobles real quickly there while we have a brief moment.
He has a look here on Turnbull. Saw the he bounces over the curb. Yeah. He actually doesn't hit Turnbull in the end, but it's the curb, and that's a lot of damage.
So a few drivers doing that during practice sessions as well too, because it throws the cars up, no traction, turns it into a plane, and of course you've got no flaps and no landing gear. Well, you do have landing gear, but the fence was there before you even land.
Yeah, absolutely. Very sad for Nobles, who will have to regather himself for race 2 now, you'd imagine. There's no fast repairs in this series. You've got to do it the old-fashioned way. Good evening, by the way, to those watching along. Ricky Espino saying vamos. Not sure to who, but maybe just generally. But good evening to everyone watching along this League Zero Super Formula Championship finale. It does feel like a bit of a last day of school feel, doesn't it? With the battles that are maybe not taking it quite so seriously for the race leaders, maybe they have in the past. But at the very top end of town, I guess they will be. A little bit further down, they'll be a little bit more loose with it, I would expect, as Fitzsimmons gets into the draft of Sanchez again. Now he's on the button. This is the classic battle at a circuit like Monza, where the cool-down period is just about longer than what a lap is. It means that you've got to be very, very sort of mindful of when you're on the button and when you're using it, and moderating your seconds as well in the second race is going to be very crucial. But actually, when you use it, maybe it is more than if, actually, around here, because you've got to sort of do it on a one lap, one off, one lap on, one lap off kind of system around here. You can't do it every lap like you can at some of the longer circuits, and that's why you see these seesaw battles. Delmar goes backwards, and Jace Meyer there just stabs himself down the inside and gets into 6th.
Yeah, but that's very interesting to learn about, obviously, the push to pass and how long you can use it in a relatively short lap that you have here in Monza. Super quick lap as well, too. The drivers are doing in 1 minute 30s. That's the quickest time around here. 7:29s as well, too. My apologies on that, too. So the quickest lap actually goes to Sajid in P4 at the moment for 29.9 on the dial. So most of that time, that overtake button would have been easy, wouldn't it? Whoa, that's pretty wide.
Very wide. And Delmat is going to be coming up to Jay Smyer very, very quickly here. Good evening to Noddy ML as well, who's watching along tonight. Sad to see you not racing, but second best is being with us, I suppose. He's cheering on Finley Fitzsimmons to secure my third place, is what he says. I don't want to speak too soon, Noddy, but I think you're pretty safe.
Yeah, I don't think
you would need Elliot Cook can get there at 46 points behind, but I think it's pretty unlikely. And certainly now that Fitzsimmons has actually just taken the lead, that gap has really come down very quickly in the last few moments. And I think Elliot Cook has just been saying, well, you come to me, you can catch me if you can. I'll save up some of my push to pass to use when you try and pass me. And he's not even having to do that right now. He's just in the city the old-fashioned way. Outside line into the second chicane. Again, they respectfully give each other the room. Like orderly British people that they are. They go through the second chicane, giving each other room. Outside for Fitzsimmons again. He can't quite get it done. And Elliot Cook keeps the lead again.
And on top of it, you bunched them up. So Sanchez and Sajid now right on the tailpipe. Then you got a 2-second gap back down to Elliot Rolls. So this is going to be a fantastic little sprint here. These drivers starting to use that push to pass. Overtaking opportunity right here. Puts his nose out. Finley goes really hard into that corner as well. Tom's going to make it stop. Yes, he does make it stop. Wow. He's
really compromised his exit. Oh, and Cook wanted to go to the outside there, but he just had his door shut in his face there. Fitzsimmons moves it over a little bit to defend the inside at the parabolica. Look at this, 4 covered by nothing, and that was close. Sanchez on the inside of Elliot Cook. They're very nearly making contact. They could even be 4 wide as they come down the straight here, although maybe not with the other 2 side by side quite like that. They aren't going to get in amongst the leading 2, who are both on the button, I think, here. Both trying to lead this race on to the final few laps. Lap 6 of 8. Fitzsimmons on the inside again. He keeps the lead. Cook's got to be careful there. Sanchez down his inside. Sanchez actually gives a lot of room in the end, and Zuhair just again tucks in behind. It's 4 for the lead. This is what you hope for from Monza. This is the racing that you can see around here, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we'd love to see you out there mixing with these drivers too, Noddy, but obviously you can't do it this evening. Here we go. Whoa, you got to chuck that car in, don't you? Obviously, you mentioned in the first of the Lesmos, which is catches you off guard. You can want to push as much as possible, but you don't go too wide or compromise the second Lesmo here. And then if you push this, you're in the kitty litter, my friend. And at the moment, most drivers taking it pretty safe there because they know that there's overtaking opportunities down the main straightaway. Out of you want to get a good exit out of Curva Cadande, isn't it? Parabolica. Or Alboreto, and then of course into turn 1, overtaking opportunities there. Let's see what happens to Elliot Court. Can he do it right now to Fitzsimmons?
Yeah, they start to leave the other 2 behind a little bit as they stop battling between themselves and they start issuing the pace again at the front of the race. Lap 6 about to draw to a conclusion here. Only 2 more to go here from Monza in race 1 tonight. Don't worry, there's a second race coming up and it's going to be just as lively as this one, even if it is about 3 times as long. Here comes on the outside Elliot Court again on the straight. He's going to be roaring past here into turn number 1, or is he? Fitzsimmons on the inside is going to hold firm and hold in front. A good pass on the inside line for Fitzsimmons. He keeps the lead ahead of Court. Fabian Sanchez able to stay with them. Zuhair has just been distanced in these last couple of laps.
Don't think that's over yet, my friend. Elliot Rolls now is on the back there. Actually, of the Canadian driver. Not on the back anymore. Oh, wow.
That was aggressive. Inside in time for the Della Rogia, and he's through. So can Rolls now do the work of catching, because he's done it to Zuhair. Now can he do it to the front 3?
Yeah, use that push to pass as well too, to try to get their extra little bit of horsepower, well, kilowatt power, to get the overtake done. Of course, what can go around comes around to the other drivers. So that button available to them, that boost of energy and power, which is very mighty important. Well, very important and powerful around here, my friend. Let's see if Elliot Court's going to use any.
Oh, hello. It's close. Ascari's really dangerous, isn't it? There's the push to pass, and he's got loads of it left. He's got over 2 minutes, so he's going to just put it on and leave it on now. If he takes it off, then he'll have to do the rest of the race without it. And Fitzsimmons hasn't quite gotten onto that, I don't think. And now he has.
That's it.
At least maybe he waited a few moments. He's got a little bit less actually in the bank there. And so they're both going to use it all throughout this final lap. And look in the background as well. All the lights flashing above their heads. It's all a straight fight here. It's going to be a very fast final lap. And look at that. Elliott Court switches from the left to the right to the inside in time for turn 1. Fitzsimmons gives him the room. He'll get that respect returned again through turn 2. And Court will take the lead on the last lap here.
What have they got now? Using that push to pass, of course, as you can see currently at the moment. Overtake on is going to be very difficult to defend around here. This is fantastic.
Side again. Turn oh, he's spinning! Oh, what a save that is! What a save that is from Fitzsimmons! He very nearly went around completely. As in the background, Sanchez is out of energy. He's out of push to pass, so he can't do much from here. Court and Fitzsimmons are going to be in the clear as far as Fabian Sanchez is concerned, unless they take each other off the road, which at times tonight they certainly have looked like doing.
Brilliant. Brilliant. This is fantastic to see. They're going to be just trying to break that slipstream, trying to break any possibility that they can have. Fitzsimmons now really only has a handful of corners to get done. In fact, one big curving one. Whoa! Straight out Elliott Court, getting on the loud pedal, just couldn't quite get the put down. I think this is the Fitzsimmons race to win now for the first heat. I don't think anybody's going to catch him. That'd be a late dive. You'll have to end up into the barriers there like Charles Leclerc did years ago. But here we go, my friend. 16.
He's not going to lose it from here. Philly Fitzsimmons is going to win this first race of the night on the League Zero Super Formula finale night here from Monza. It is Philly Fitzsimmons who wins race 1. That is this season his third victory. Brings him level with Jaden Callaway for third most of any driver this season. And ahead of Nodi Emel, who he was previously tied with alongside Elliott Court in that standing. It's a great win from Fitzsimmons, but a great race from the top 5. Court, Sanchez, Rolls and Zuhair right behind. They're all going to be reversed, don't forget, for race 2, and what a second race it's going to be.
Ooh, we're looking forward to that. It'll be our last race of the season as well too, so let's see how that pans out. In any second we'll get those results up for you. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Ricky as well too, saying great racing. Vamos, all right.
Absolutely. It's fantastic racing to begin with. Guillermo Paré, by the way, is about to cross the line. Only did 4 laps. Actually didn't start the race on the circuit with everybody else, but I think must have disconnected very late on in qualifying and had to get back up and running. Unfortunately lost 4 laps in the end. Souza and Zeitch also had meatballs in that one. Not the food, but had crash damage at some point in that one, but we're not going to be able to get a replay because iRacing does shove the session on quite quickly. Philly Fitzsimmons then takes the victory in race number 1 ahead of Elliott Court, Fabian Sanchez, Elliott Rolls and Saji Zuhair. All of those are going to be reversed and all of them were covered by only 2.5 seconds at the end of that one. James Meyer had a bit of distance back to him with James Turnbull then in 7th place. 8th place went to Leo Delmar, who lost a few of those places actually to those drivers who finished ahead of him. Alex Penn recovered to 9th after running off through Ascari. Gareth McAllister recovered from running straight through the first chicane on lap 2 to finish in 10th. Antonio Bianchi recovered from a pit lane start ahead of Austin Thomas to finish 11th and 12th. They got ahead of Arturo Mayorga and Xavier Seneve, who got to the finish on the lead lap. Souza and Zeitz, as I mentioned, had that crash 1 lap from the finish. Paré eventually got into the race, although it took him half of the distance to do it. And then Robert Nobles also having that crash we saw through Ascari, dropping 6 laps in that race, and no surprise based on the crash that we saw through the Ascari chicane. I mean, what a first race it was. I mean, iRacing sometimes comes in a bit of criticism for having overly strong slipstream, but you know, I don't particularly care personally. This is sim racing after all, and you can't complain about racing like what we see here at Monza. It's not only the super formulas, but you know, the difference I think with these cars is that these are properly fast cars, and you know, that's faster than F2 Formula 2 cars, and they can still provide incredible racing even at this circuit with the draft that you get around Monza. It's just an absolute treat to watch.
Yeah, as we're going to ride on board actually to see it from a driver's perspective, of course, what they're going to get. Your braking point in the second Lesmo goes out a little bit wide, gets on the loud pedal for the triple two Argentine or Francisco Sosa. I'm just wondering as well too, we've seen this before in the past though, Ewan, if the drivers want to get out there and practice the standing still starts, of course, because it's only a short run down into turn 1 and turn 2.
Yeah, I think most of the drivers who've been here this season, all season long, will have that down by now, or at least the best that they think they can do it now on the starts. But it is an important aspect of these races. Don't often see in iRacing, to be honest, standing starts. Most of the series that's synonymous with the platform, a rolling start series. But this is not one of those, and that does change things. But the only two drivers out there in warm-up at the moment are these two Argentine drivers who are practicing racing with each other. Not something that's practiced too often, but not only is it a lot of fun to race with your mates like this, but it's also quite helpful for the race.
And plenty of space
practice
too,
going
isn't it?
side by side.
Turn 1 and turn 2.
It's different lines, and you've got to practice them.
Yeah, you do. A lot of respect given there as well too. You wouldn't see that Formula 1 drivers as in turn 1 and turn 2. They're just a narrow of margins, of course, and that'll be all on the radio complaining to their teams, going, didn't give me the space, didn't leave me the space. Whoa, that's how you chuck the car into. Also lift it up. We've seen some moments there. Thankfully, we only saw one really during our first heat race, but on the practice, so I guess I'm getting it all out of the system during the practice there. They were chucking it into the fence all over the place.
It's much easier, by the way, to give room to somebody else when you don't have Max Verstappen in the grid. It does help. But anyway.
Oh, here's the British press apparently getting all mad about Maxi. I 100% agree with you, bud.
Yeah, that's the classic. Yeah, it's not even like the British driver in this year's fight is even fighting the Dutchman, Max Verstappen. But anyway.
We're fighting the Aussie.
I know. I like how much the Australians are taking this on as a nation v nation fight, whereas I don't think British people quite see it like that. But there you go.
I get always do for sport. I mean, you go into cricket
team sport
and cricket series and rugby and all that sort of stuff. We always take it to the nation.
Later this year, we're not going to be talking about the racing. We'll just be chatting about the various team sports that we're against each other at.
Yeah.
But by November or whatever, that's the British versus Australian rivalry. In this particular, hello, as
I think
Alex Penn is finding
start.
the alternative layouts.
Yeah, that's the get up on the elevated banking area.
Oh, he's donutting as well.
I think he's just realised that he's not quite on the track here. You got to chuck it right, my friend. Yeah, and that's not there either.
That's not. Oh no! Oh, and an explosion in the background as well. I don't know who that is, but Sajid here is giving us something to shout about as well in warm up. This is why I get it between two races, in fairness, but some series do warm up between qualifying and the race, and I don't really understand it. There's Zuhair. He might have actually been trying a pit exit, but spun around and car parts absolutely everywhere as he smashed into the wall.
So here's the grid for the feature race here this evening. The last race of the season.
Yes, and Sajid Zuhair takes pole, hopefully getting off to a better start than what we just saw him do. Elliott rolls alongside Fabian Sanchez and Elliott Court on row 2 with Finley Fitzsimmons, the fifth driver in the field. You'll see the rest of it scroll through on your screen. The top 5 though reversed from the first race results, the rest of them taken on from the race results previously. So those who had meatballs before, you see at the bottom there, like Souza, Zaich and Nobles, all at the back, Paré as well, who is in the session this time round, and everybody deciding that starting on the racetrack is the best way this time round. 26 laps then for this final race of the League Zero Super Formula season. It is underway, and my goodness, what a start that is from Sanchez coming through the middle, and on the inside Elliott Court as well, who swallows up Rolls immediately, as does Fitzsimmons on the inside. Caught quite late on the brakes on the inside, and Zuhair just has to be mindful. Oh, there's someone off in the background massively. Antonio Bianchi goes for a big off-track moment through the first chicane. He cuts the first chicane, but thankfully they're all still facing the right way, at least side by side for the lead as Elliott Court tries to, and he does, outside line, and he's through into the lead of this race.
Brilliant. Whoa, there's that car off in the distance there. Who's that? Oh, talking about kitty litter kicked up on the track now, my friend. Front wing for Bianchi. Looks like Francisco as well too, and Leo DeMar going off into the... Wow. And that's going to be interesting when they approach that corner, of course, and they try to get the loud pedal down there, and it's going to kick up nothing but stones everywhere. We saw that early this season as well, too. But here's the battle at the moment for P2. Look at the gap that Elite Court has.
Yeah, that could be irretrievable, although Court did get a second's gap at least in the first race. It's a second and a half this time. And you just wonder whether Fitzsimmons is going to be able to bring that back in time. Is Court, though, going to use push to pass to keep them at bay this time? I think last time he sort of didn't utilise his push to pass and sort of said, well, I'm going to let you come to me, see if you can try and catch me here. But we might not need to think about it too much. 3 wide for second, and Sanchez is going to have to think about getting back on the circuit here. He's in the grass. Oh my word, 3 wide, and they so nearly make contact. They do. So Zuhair goes straight on. Fitzsimmons makes contact with him. They were bound to go off the circuit, and they have done now. Through the first chicane they blow, and that's a real shame. Oh, big rejoin there as well. Fitzsimmons still going, but Zuhair has got a meatball.
Yeah, it's been carnage absolutely everywhere. Some of the drivers are just getting off. There he is. So I think he's retired. Can't quite see what's happened, or he's at least towed back to the pit road.
Yeah, has gone back to pit lane, and that is a big shame, because it was contact in towards the first corner, and yeah, I mean, we'll see it again in a moment. Here we go. Sanchez goes to the inside. Not sure. I think the other two might have some arguments about that. Not sure he really should be doing that. Comes back onto the circuit. They could have made it work, but there's slight contact there. Then Zuhair can't turn in. Fitzsimmons, I'm surprised he hasn't got more damage actually as a result of that. And Zuhair is the one who has to tow back to pit lane with a meatball, and that's a real shame. Sanchez is still going. Rolls gained all 3 of those places, and now Sanchez is with him again.
Lost the late breakers here, my friend. Downshifts around the outside. Indicova Grande. Alexa back off on that one for now. Got to realise it's still early, isn't it? You've got so much time up your sleeve here. 26 laps in this race. As Elite Court sets the fastest lap there, and shots are called a almost 3.5 second gap over the rest of the field right now. You're seeing on your pictures.
That's a long way. We'll see whether these two actually got the speed to bring that back again as they come through the stones at turn 2 there. Not quite as many of them here so far, thankfully. Not too many off-track moments. In fact, there were pretty much none in the first race in terms of gravel being brought onto the circuit. The second race, things kicked off a little bit into the second chicane a little bit more. See the stones through here. Yeah, not too bad. Going well so far. Wonder if we can see, by the way, the lap 1 incidents down in towards the second chicane, because it was all going on in the background. We were focusing in on the leaders at the time, but let's try and unpack the start from the very beginning here. I imagine there'll be a lot of flags on your thing because of very slow people through turn 1 and 2, and Noble's not getting off to the greatest start. Might not be the worst thing actually. We'll see what he saw on the way down in towards turn number 1 here, and you can see the driver in front of him actually backing away immediately, just thinking, well, nothing good is going to come of this, and they're right in the end as there's contact up in front. 3 wide moments, and you can absolutely see the logic of hanging back as those two did there.
Yeah, this is the incident as well too of Leader Mar. Further back here, we can keep an eye on this. This is where they just go a little bit purple shaft. He goes off into their spins.
Oh.
And there's spins behind as well too. That's Francisco and Sajay.
Yeah, Antonio Bianchi will be involved in this one as well. Oh, that's late from Sousa. Down the inside and too late. That's what sort of kicks this all off. And eventually, actually, Sousa and Bianchi have their own crash. It would have been a lot worse. As that side engine panel comes off there. That's exposed a bit more of the engine than expected. There's Delmar bouncing him way back onto the circuit as well as we come back to live pictures, because the battle for 4th, and the battle's all throughout the field, in fact, are very fierce again. Penn, oh wow, big save again. Penn trying to get through on Jace Meyer, in the end pays with his 4th position, or his 5th position rather, I'll get it right eventually, as Turnbull comes straight through. It may not be for the lead anymore, but we still do have these same groups around the circuit.
There's a bit of kitty litter kicked up on the track there, a bit bumpy. Bit of overcast conditions as well. I was just wanting to see whether or not it's going to start raining. Throw an element to the mix here. Let's have a look at the weather. Has dropped back down a little bit. 46-degree track temperature, still dry, partly cloudy.
Just a little bit less track temperature, but not too much less. and how the tyres are going to cope with that. Of course, the pit stops are only 4 tyres in this series. You can't refuel. So it will have to be a 13-lap first stint and a 13-lap second stint, I would imagine. Not too many people going too early or too late. Fitzsimmons and Thomas are in pit lane because they've got meatballs. Zuhair is out of the race after his meatball flag earlier on. In towards turn 1 for Turnbull, who's looking to take 2 in less than a lap here. He looks down the inside of Jace Meyer, but he wasn't quite close enough in towards turn 1.
Can we get the exit down? No. Oh, it's matched, you'd have to say.
Good enough. I think I saw Meyer on the button actually on the way down the home straight, but maybe he's turned it off by now. Turnbull has a look there but decides against it.
Deep
really pushes on a bit there. He, don't know whether it was all dirty air or breaking a bit deep as you say, but he certainly seemed to understeer straight on at the second chicane there.
Got to attack it Lesmos there. You can see it goes a little bit wide. That's the second one, so you get the power down here coming down into Scari, go underneath the bridge, of course. That's the old track of the circuit that you go under, the banking elevation. And then this is, you have to attack it here. It goes a little bit too greedy. And then be careful of those sleeping policemen out there. That'll chuck that car straight into the outside fence. And then this is just a sensational speed, this corner, isn't it? It's the corner that never ends. It just keeps going and going and going. And it's got speed into it as well. But you notice that you start going further and further, and you're creeping out to the outside. Both these drivers, in fact, all these drivers right here navigated that one quite well. Elliott caught seeing another fastest lap. It's easily into the 29 club now.
To turn 1 again is just not close enough at the moment for these guys. Side by side right in the background between Nobles and McAllister. Robert Nobles started 18th in this race, don't forget. He's about to make it mark this halfway mark now. Up 9. In 9th place, so there you go. He's made his way through half the field, still half bit to go as he very nearly slips and slides his way into the wall actually out of turn number 2 there. McAllister will get straight back into the slipstream then through the Curva Grande, and he'll have another look here on the outside on the way towards the second chicane. He's going to get edged out there if he tries it, and in the end he just breaks a little bit earlier. Might size him up through the chicane and not quite getting the exit there that was required. Battles everywhere on this circuit at the moment. Even while the off-tracks continue to be picked up. Seems to happen every time, actually, through the Lesmos. Turnbull and Penn. Maybe it was more of an issue for Turnbull that time, because Alex Penn comes straight through into the top 5.
Get you Italian coffee there, sir, in the bridge. Wow, chuck that car in there at the moment for Penn. Just ahead there of James Turnbull. And Jace Meyer up the road as well, too. Fabian Sanchez still trying to keep Elliott Rolls for company, at least, with about a half a second gap between them.
Another a lap completed, by the way, for Elliott Court. 20 laps to go now in the season, and he leads by over 4 seconds now over Rolls and Sanchez, who seem to be working together somewhat to try and catch the leader. But it looks like a pretty forlorn hope at the moment. Xavier Senave is the latest driver to get a meatball flag. Thomas has as well. I'm not sure whether we've seen what happened to him there. Obviously know what happened to Fitzsimmons, unfortunately, who's down on pit lane and looks to be all but out of this season as well. This was Sajid Zuhair, who retired after just a lap of this race. Here comes Turnbull. Switching from inside to outside and not quite far enough alongside. So Turnbull stays behind Alex Penn in 6th place.
A mouthful of dust. I like to breathe here at the moment because thankfully he's got his helmet on, so he has to get that dust in your eyes. That'll sting. That's what you can see from this perspective. Down. Yeah.
Because the visors do get dirty in iRacing. I'm sure I've never seen a dusty visor with lots of gravel, plus the gravel smoke.
Oh, hold on.
Big slide. Wow. Turnbull there really loose, and I just wonder, I mean, we're not even at the distance now where the sprint race ended at yet. We're still a lap away from that at the end of the next one, but I mean, this could be a factor now that the tyre temperature is starting to just go through the roof a little bit with the track temperature so high. He's in the slipstream though, Sanchez, and again, just to making it clear to Rolls that he doesn't want to make the overtake, but a few slips and slides now in these very sunny Italian conditions this afternoon.
And defensive goes Elliott as well too. You can see he just parked that car right in the middle, leading into turn 1. So he was going to force Sanchez to go anywhere around the inside or the outside. You don't really want to go on the right-hand side, on the very inside into the corner, because you have to make it stop on a dime essentially at that point. So clever play. But we'll see. Obviously, there's lots of push to pass for these drivers to use as well too. When are they going to be saving it? When are they going to be using it? Elliott caught for almost 5 second gap at the moment. Can afford not to push it, you would have to say, to Ewan as well. If those tyre temperatures are starting to go through the roof, then don't punish him. You've got that comfortable lead. You're not under any threat at the moment. Just continue on to your first round of pit stops.
And Nobles has got a meatball flag now. This is the 5th lap in a row where someone's got a meatball, by the way. So plenty of stuff to have a look at in a moment. Nobles seems to be off the road again here. It might be out of the race now. See what happened to him. The spin through the first part of the second chicane, and he noses it into the wall. There you go. The front left tyre is no longer attached, and you do need that generally.
Oh, they're coming in pit road too. Yeah.
They're coming in pit lane. That's quite early. Souza is also... no, not out of this race, sorry. He's still going, but has had a spin. But he's missing that right side still. Yeah. Maybe try and get that repaired at the next pit stop. We've also in the last last few laps seen Gareth McAllister in pit lane with towing back to pit lane as well with a crash as more stops happen here for Delmar. They weren't coming in pit line, by the way. They were just breaking the slipstream. But there's the graveyard. Goodness me, there's a few people to have a look at here. McAllister, the lap before that, Senave. The lap before that was Thomas. The lap before that was Fitzsimmons. I'm not sure we saw his final crash, actually, did we? No. I don't remember his car looking like that.
Oh, we're going to see it now, behind those trees. Oh,
it's that curve again at Ascari.
That wasn't even the final one either.
Oh, was he? Hold on.
He's got to be collected.
Hold on. Oh, there you go. There's the... oh, wow. Looked like a badly put together Lego car there, and it's just all fell to pieces all in one go. Yeah, a bit unlucky for Fitzsimmons actually, because this sounds strange, but he actually did quite a good job to spin the right way and not spin into the path of everybody, or not spin into the wall. Sorry. Unfortunately, he did spin into the path of everybody else.
It's the only difficult part when you do have a bit of a spin and you're out front there. You have to close your eyes and just hope nobody comes into T-bones you at high speed, because of course it's a temple of speed too, so it also means temples of high speed accidents that do occur around here because of these slow chicanes, these slow corners that just bunches everybody back up again. And then of course you get on the loud pedal and you got the high speed part, so you get almost up to about 300 kilometers per hour that these super formulas can do here at Monza before they have to start braking.
Rolls continuing to hedge Sanchez here. Clearly he's concerned about the overtake, because we've seen time and again the weaving around from Rolls to try and keep Sanchez behind, but at no point has Sanchez indicated to me that he's actually trying even to make this move, I've got to be honest. But anyway, Rolls seems to be a little bit concerned about it. They are two of the closest in the field. Meyer and Penn are quite close as well for 4th place, a little bit further back. Jace Meyer ahead of Alex Penn. This is a great recovery from Alex Penn as well, from back of the field in race number 1. Didn't benefit, or indeed not benefit, from a reverse grid in race 2, in fairness. So he's up 4 in this one, from 9th place and into the top 5, looking for a 5th gain here maybe with Jace Meyer's position. Again, they're triggering the pit lane thing there, but Sanchez has actually got in pit lane this time after only 10 laps.
Yeah, very interesting alternative strategy there for Sanchez, as his driver's going to be zooming on by. Oh, but the internet connection should be okay there. Something just dropped out a little bit there for YouTube for a second there. It said we dropped a little bit, but I believe we are still streaming live. Good to go.
Yeah, we are. I just checked. So that's good news. Personal best going round as Mayorga gets past Sanchez. He won't be pleased about the traffic he's just ended up in. I'll say traffic, it is only one driver, but even so. Don't want to be behind anybody, particularly when you want those fast laps. As might having blinking problems now, and that's never good news when you're the following driver there. You do not want to be in behind a driver with connection trouble.
Especially in a heavy braking zone, as you imagine, because you're predicting, you got to predict where they are. You know that they're going to be braking at some point ahead of you, but if you're thinking about doing the overtake, it'd be very difficult to know exactly where that car is. If they've got defensive or if they're sticking themselves in the racing line. That's a situation. Got a good exit actually. Out of Ascari.
That was close.
Yeah, you don't see many overtakes really out of Ascari that much usually before you come down into Parabolica. And that was job done.
Not that close to the corner. That was very, very close at the Ascari chicane. And, they've just about got away with that. Jason Meyer, meantime, comes into the pit lane. And so early stops here. You know, it's all well and good being worried about your tyre life right now, but you've got to think if you're only making one stop here today, that actually pitting on lap 10 or 11, as we've seen now from a couple of drivers, actually only makes your second stint even worse, because it means you have to do 16 or 15 laps on the second set of tyres, and if you're already struggling after 10 or 11 laps, then 15 or 16 is going to be a lot of trouble.
Certainly will be. Up on the jacks to get those tyres done. So the Elliott and Elliott show, not the law firm, but Elliott Court over Elliott Rolls. That's P1 and P2. Alex Penn and James Turnbull are in the P4 and position. P5 is Parrot, right? The Argentine. He's up 12 places at the moment. Still be yet to make a pit stop as well as the other top four. But however, that's good gains there.
That's a very good race from him so far. Driving himself through the field and keeping your nose clean, which seems to be half of the battle here today. With so many getting involved in crashes so far today. It really is just about keeping it clean, as we're a lap away now from half distance. Elliott Court sets a best lap of the race as the fuel load generally comes down. There's going to be some very fast laps in the next few moments. To be fair, these tyres should be quite worn out, actually, in these next few moments. So I'm surprised that Court has been able to do a fastest lap that time round. You'd expect it just on the new set of tyres in a few moments.
Yeah, and on top of it, without the push to pass, because he shouldn't really be using it at this point right now. Doesn't need to set anything crazy. He's got a 5-second gap over his nearest rival on the track. And doing, you'd have to say, consecutive 29s now. Everybody else is doing 30s, 1 minute 30s lap times. So you have to say, that's not bad. You wouldn't, and you've got that push to pass to save up. As Growls out there says, Alex Penn is finally back after retiring seasons ago. What a legend, going on well. And Alex is currently at the moment 6 positions gained up in a P3.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear. Currently third, as you say, but slightly false position with the pit stops that have sort of half happened, really, as we get halfway through this race. We'll see whether Court decides to come in now, and no, he is going to carry on. Elliott Rolls, though, decides to come in on halfway, and this seems to be the sensible thing to do, really. Pitting in after 13 laps to just split this race down in two, but Alex Penn's going to continue on.
Does that steering wheel?
Does that? Oh, I think he's got a black flag as well. He must have accidentally taken off the pit limiter or something's going on there.
Did you see
he's got a speeding penalty now.
I heard the car going splattering, blah, 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 like going up and down gears, and it looks like it was too, because I saw his, you see on the hands on the steering wheel, they were flattering left and right, like up and down, up and down, up and down. Something was going on there. Maybe it's drastically trying to fight his his pit lane limiter button. That's going to cost him quite a bit.
It could be any number of things, couldn't it, really? But yeah, he's going to lose a lot of time as a result of that. You only really stop for about 7 seconds or so when you're changing tyres in the Super Formulas. This is going to take, so it's a little bit of a different way of changing tyres than Formula 1 or something, but yeah, this pit stop's going to be 3/4 of a minute, and Mayorga's going to get past legitimately as well. So the only person Elliot Rolls will stay in front of is Francisco Souza. Everybody else will now be in front of Elliot Rolls after that stop.
Yeah, there he comes out finally now. I just want to see if we can get an idea of what happened there from perhaps the wheel when he entered pit lane.
Let's see if we can get a second view here. Let's just we'll be quiet and listen into this for a sec. So yeah. I think he's tried to do the old iRacing trick of shifting up to second, then back down to first, and back up to second, back down to first. That generally in iRacing gets you just about. In iRacing, there is a speed limit, obviously, for the pit lane, as you'd expect, and the pit limiters are set just below that. Another factor, of course, as well, is that you can actually speed slightly in iRacing. You can speed very, very slightly before you actually get pinged for a penalty. So by shifting up and down like that, normally you can just about tread that mark. But I think maybe in these Super Formula, surely he would have tried it before and would have learned that it doesn't work. But it seems to me that either he's accidentally knocked his pit speed limiter off while he was doing that, and he's just accelerated full speed into a speeding penalty, or the shifting down or shifting up actually takes the pit limiter off automatically. There are some cars in which pit limiters and whatever get taken off or on immediately, depending on what you do with it. And I wonder whether this is one of those cars. But if that theory were to be true, why has he never tried that before, and why has he tried it for the first time in a race? Yeah,
that's one actually probably even Noddy might know, or any other drivers out there that have driven these cars in the audience. Would be interesting to know. We are curious up here what that could be. He's trying to gain an advantage. He certainly has not gained an advantage, as Elliot and James comes in as well too. Sorry about the cameras in pit lane, they're a little tricky. His cars are so low down, you can't really see it behind the pit wall. So Alex Penn now into the lead of this race, yet to make a pit stop, as well as the Argentine behind him, and number 52.
So Penn continues out front, and well, how long is he going to go on for? I mean, is the next question. Maybe the tyres aren't so much of a concern as what I was speculating earlier on. The track temperature has come down a bit, in fairness. The clouds have come over. As you can see, it's a little bit more gloomy now. I don't think it's going to rain this afternoon, but there you are, 40 degrees Celsius on the track, and it's nearly 20% lower track temperature than what we had at the start of the sprint race. It's a significant amount.
Yeah, what those clouds can do. Quite amazing. Here in Italia, Leo DeMar gets slowed down. Running in P9. Chucks it in the corner.
He seemed to be slow when we joined him there.
Alex in.
Finally, 10 laps from the finish. Penn makes a pit stop, slightly delayed, as I say, than what would be expected. Will Parry carry, and fair enough to him as well. Guillermo Parry is going to carry on, and he's actually going to lead a lap there at the end of that one. You don't get anything for leading laps in this series, and nor do I think that should be a thing in any series, actually. But anyway, it's great for him to lead this race anyway. He's completed his run for the front of the field after missing the first part of the first race. He's in the session now, and he's leading it.
Brilliant work. We'll see how far you can stretch it. If we can go 26 laps. You're not going to work, but is it?
No, he's going to have to stop at some point, but he's enjoying the lead while he's got it. And even if he does try and stay out and do a no-stop race, even if that was allowed, then well, Elliot Court's only 2 seconds behind. You'd imagine that the British driver will sweep him up pretty easily here in the next 9 laps. And I kind of hope that Parry stays out to sort of see that happen, really. But I bet Elliot Court is not hoping for that. He wants to do the last part of this race without overtaking anybody, and he hadn't had to from really about lap 2, really.
Robert out there in the chat saying Monza doesn't fail us again. Who's retired from the session as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if how sarcastic that is. Whether he's saying, well, that's Monza for you, it crashes all the time, or whether he's saying that it's entertaining racing and that's what Monza provides. We're enjoying Monza because it's a lot of dramatic racing and a lot of excitement for myself and Biggles as Guillermo Paré comes into the pit lane. But yes, I understand why some drivers don't like it, because it can be very, very tricky indeed when you are a driver. But there you go. That's the way it goes, I suppose. Let us know which one it is, Robert. Whether it's with disdain or with delight that we're at Monza again. Parry makes his way out of the pit lane, and Turnbull returns to the top 5. Antonio Bianchi is not too far away either, actually. It's going to be quite a close rejoin there, but Parry looks like he's ahead, and quite comfortably as well. He's going to be up 11 places from where he started this race. What a fantastic drive.
There he is. And there's Antonio. A little bit further back, you got Anthony in the green machine. So the drivers unfortunately spread out a little bit now that the excitement wasn't there and we hadn't heat 1 or at the very start of this race. But you never know, because you got the situation now where drivers are going to start using that push to pass, which you can currently see at the moment. All the cool down for it to try to get some get up close. Most of those gaps you can see at the moment, some of them are hovering about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. We've got a response out there from Robert.
He says, I love Monza. It's always hectic and it's a challenge to get just right, trying to maximise the exit too much, and it bit. Yeah, well, it's a classic story from Monza. Almost in any car, to be honest, any car where it's possible to spin up the rear tyres. You know that you're in for a very, very long evening of throttle modulation, as we saw. Robert. Just to compound his misery, we'll make him watch himself again.
Oh, it's only a little bit too. It didn't look like
it's quite harsh, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry, Robert. You can see the steering's all bent and busted at the moment because he's trying to point it straight and the car's not going straight. I think he does drive it back to pit road, but or does he retire it? No, I think you retire it then, right, Robert?
That was that, unfortunately. After 8 laps of this race, quite a lot further than 5 other drivers in this race, so that shows you the attrition. As Elliot Rolls has caught up to Arturo Mayorga, unfortunately the field in front of him is not quite as close as you'd hope, as he's switching to the inside rolls here.
There, mate.
Oh, no. That's way too tight, and he spins it there on the rear tyres. He's got the brake bias way too rearward for that. He was playing around a little bit there. I'm not sure whether these two are. They're not in a voice chat together at the moment. I was wondering whether they were, the way they were behaving there. Rolls is looking to have a bit of fun with this, but he locked the rears right up there and spun right round.
There's no way no way whatsoever you're going to make that stop from there, especially because it goes swinging around. Okay, I'll go. There it goes, and he goes. Okay, no, I'm not going to make it stop. No.
I think he thought, after all that fooling around, he had that sudden drop of sinking feeling of, actually, I'm going to smash straight into the driver I'm battling with here, and that might not be such a great look. So knocked it down and didn't go for that in the end. He's back behind Mayorga again, and so is Bianchi behind Paré now, so it's all happening suddenly.
Whoa.
Oh, another one, he's not learned. Rolls to the inside line. He's trying to make the most extravagant move of the day, and he probably has. Yeah. It's like when you used to play soccer and you used to, instead of scoring an open goal just normally, bend down and head it in off the floor just for a bit of style right at the very end. And that's what it looks like Rolls is doing at the moment. He's got his head on the floor. He's just heading it in despite the open goal. He wants to make it look extravagant, even though he's making a pass for 10th place, and a pass he should be making as well compared to the pace he's had here so far tonight.
Well, you just go down to your own goalkeeper and just kick the ball in your own net. In your own goal. If you want to make it extravagant.
That doesn't count. Are you counting own goals as your scoring records?
Yeah, you do. Like, and then you don't get back into the locker room later because it's going to be waiting for you pretty angrily.
I can already imagine it. 6 laps to go at the end of this one, and Elliot Court is about to get to the end of this one. So there you go.
back.
Sets the new fastest lap. I said that it might happen actually, just off the other side, and it does. This is on board with Bianchi, just ahead of or behind of Parry. These two having an interesting battle. They're a bit more evenly matched, and so hopefully this will be a better battle to watch actually. Same for Delmar and Zeitz actually for 8th place. Good that as soon as those gaps grew to over a second, nearly 2 seconds and more, I'm glad that it's some of these gaps have compressed right back again.
Yeah, the fastest lap was taken away too from Elliot Cord. He's not going to want that one. He's going to be looking up there and from his race control, his spotter, and saying, whoop, you fastest lap's just been replaced. Whoa! That's a little too hard over the sleeping policeman. Got to go around those. Don't drive through them like what Sebastian Vettel did back a few years ago when he was in the Ferrari, but the Ferrari had a brake failure, so he couldn't go around them.
And we'll just jump in behind Delmar and Zeitz, who are continuing their battle here. So that's a shame for Parry because he'd really gained a lot of positions in this race, and well, unfortunately that's pretty much come to an end now. He is down to 9th, and there it is. It's up over the gravel. Bianchi actually has to stamp on the brakes there to avoid as well, but Parry cost himself 3 positions in that one manoeuvre there.
Yeah, it's so difficult, isn't it? Because the car gets lifted up there, the light cars obviously as well, and there's no traction when you're in the air. Of course, you've got no tyres onto the tarmac, and around she goes. There's not too much you can do. That's why you really, at the end of the day, you've got to stay off them as much as you can. Easier said than done, trying to set fast laps and racing at the pace these drivers are doing, because you've got to try to use as much of this track as you possibly can, with only its 11 turns. However, go a little bit too greedy on them, and as you can see, the effects of it. And Robert's all aware of that one too. He was similar situation.
Down in towards Turnbull again for these three. They're not going to make any moves this time. I think we've got 5 laps to go, including the one that we've just started now with these guys here. And we should probably just reflect quickly before this battle really kicks off to the finish on the season that we've seen. Adam Merchant is going to be our championship winner, set his 2nd title, breaking a streak of 2 wins from Callaway in the last 2 years. In fact, Callaway's won 3 out of the last 4 championships in the series. And before that was Raymond Aguilar, by the way. We've seen a little bit of this season intermittently, but yeah, Callaway having his run coming to an end. Callaway finishing 2nd in the end, but Merchant a deserving title winner. It's been one of twists and turns though. Noddy Emel got off to the best start of the season, and 4 rounds in, it looked like he was going to absolutely trounce everybody this season, but that hasn't happened. And Merchant in the end is going to come out with the pretty large points lead, and obviously the championship as well that he sealed last week.
Yeah, I'll see in a second if I can just quickly chuck that up on the screen for everybody to have a little bit of a browse to. We showed that at the top of the hour there, but that's the standing scores before going into this race. But you can see the drivers that are in the untouchable field, and Noddy will remain in that P3. We think, anyway, at this point, isn't it? Because Elliot Court, would he maximise enough points? 46 points if he gets this race win here, but Elliot Court didn't win Heat 1, right? So I don't know. I'm not quite sure if your P3's still 100% safe there, Noddy.
I think it'll be okay, to be honest, but you do never know. With the maximum points in this race, you get 31 more, plus the 12 from the last one. Oh dear, a lot of gravel there, and Zeitz just slipped on it, and Parry comes straight through. So that's 8th place for Guillermo Parry there, who gets past Anthony Zeitz. I'm not sure whether the gravel was the cause there, but there was certainly a lot on the circuit, and he slips down into 9th place.
So Francisco's heading off somewhere as well. Oh, they're using that push to pass as well too for Anthony Zeitz. Let's have a look here. What's happened to Francisco? A little power slide into the corner. Boom! Once again, that's going to hurt your back a little bit. Really slows it down. That's almost, I was going to say, I'd play it at full speed to show you how slow it is. And just waits to rejoin. That's all that kitty litter you can see out of the exit of the corner too.
I wonder who brought that back onto the circuit. It's a rejoin there out of the second chicane. That's has provided a bit of an obstacle for the rest of the field now. Now, interesting time for Paré to get on the button here. You can see it flashing wildly, and he keeps it on through the first chicane. I wonder whether he's not used any so far, and he's decided now is the time, and that's exactly what's happened here. He's deciding to use some. Now, he's got to be very careful, because he's got to turn it off at some point soon, in my mind, because he can't leave it on to the very end of the race. He's still got 3 laps, including the one they're on at the moment, to go, and that's 4.5 minutes. You only get 3 minutes 20 in one go, and you've got to remember, in between that is a cool down period where you can't use it. So either Paré is going to hope to use it now, get in front when Delmat is not using it, and then hold on without any button left, or he's mistimed this because he's still on the button here. It looks like he's just going to leave it on now until it runs out.
Yeah, you might be right. This was the opportunity anyway, because it's really only the Frenchman up the road there that he's going to be able to get. You got Bianchi, that's 5 seconds to change up the road from them. So that's it. As he wants to secure that P7, he's going to turn it off.
Wow. So
right where he should have needed it, you would imagine there, isn't it? Would have had the power down to get the exit out of Alboreto, if you want to say.
You know, I didn't hate the strategy of, doing it using the button at a different point to the others, because actually when it gets so late in the race, when everybody's just using it to the end, it sort of negates itself, as Paré now is just using it the old-fashioned way anyway. Inside line into turn 1, Delmat's going to stay in front anyway into turn number 2. And, Paré's going to try and get him on the exit, in fact. But yeah, I would have probably, if I was going to turn it off again to use a last burst on the last lap, then I probably would have turned it off a bit earlier, saved it up and maybe use it at the very end a bit earlier as well. But anyway, Paré doesn't seem to need it at the moment. He's got the slipstream, and that seems to be enough. Outside for Delmat, and he got, slide! Oh, and there's contact! Delmat's in the wall! He's lost his rear wing, and now his front end as well. He's going to end this season in the pit lane, I'm afraid, is Leo Delmat, after a crash out the second chicane.
No. So unfortunate, isn't it, for the French driver? Here we go, replay. It's a chicane contact. Hard to say on that one, isn't it? We'll go back to kind of another camera angle on that. What would you say there, Ewan? He's lost it on his own. He's trying to correct it from the previous corner, isn't he? And then it's just on the power.
There's definitely a carryover there from the first part there into the second as he's losing it. He's late on the brakes in the first part. That creates the problem in the first place. Still sliding, not gaving it up. And then he's in the wide in the gravel. Then he gets hit, and then he's a passenger. But yeah, that's a real shame. Either way, Elliott Court is leading this race, and it looks like he's going to win at the moment. Noddy seems to think that this is going to tie him with Noddy in the championship, based on his maths. I reckon that you're going to be okay, but we'll wait and see on this after the race, of course, as Court just uses the last bit of push to pass now. He might even set a marker down of the fastest lap at the very end anyway. I think his fastest lap isn't in much danger, to be honest with you, but he's going to take it anyway out of the final turn, and Elliott Court is going to win for a third time this third time this season, I should say. He will be fourth place at least in the championship. He will cross the line another fastest lap of the race. Penn is going to get quite close to another fastest lap as well, because he's trying to overtake Sanchez. Last lap of the race, photo finish. Penn couldn't quite get there. Over the line they go. It's a new personal best for Penn, but not quite the second place. Sanchez will end up in that podium position in the end, and will move ahead of Finley Fitzsimmons in the championship. Fitzsimmons dropping out of the top 5, losing 2 places in the final 2 rounds.
Could be a last challenge here as well. If he get the exit on, he might be able to. On Zayek.
Oh, he does.
Yes. Biggest gainer in the race too. 10 positions up there. Finishes in P7. Finishes in P8. Get across the line there, my friend. Did you run out of gas? Can't be running out of gas.
Looked a bit like it, but that would be almost impossible to do.
That's
That's a big
crash for Elliott.
Dear.
You better make sure it gets across the line. It does.
Well, Mayorga crosses the line, and that will just about be it for the League Zero Super Formula Series here this season. Here from Monza, the final round of the season. I've got to say, a fitting way to end here. It's been great racing. That sprint race especially was an absolutely fantastic one here tonight. And yeah, it's been a great season all round. Philly Fitzsimmons though wins the. Oh, sorry, that's the sprint race. I didn't even notice there. Yep. That's not good. Elliot Court wins the race, sorry, for the second one ahead of Sanchez. Just beats Alex Penn to the line. Great return for Alex Penn to be on the podium. Jason Meyer and James Turnbull then running out the top 5 with Antonio Bianchi in 6th position. Guillermo Paré finishes just ahead of Anthony Zeitz in that close finish we saw. Elliot rolls ahead of Arturo Mayorga in the top 10. Leo Tomo was 1 lap down after the late crash. Sousa finished 3 down with a late crash himself as well. Early retirements, unfortunately, for Robert Knowles, Gareth McAllister, Xavier Senev, Austin Thomas, Finley Fitzsimmons and Sazi Zuhair, who round out the 18 driver field. Only Finley Fitzsimmons is waiting for us at the moment, so we'll tap to him, even though he had a difficult second race of the day. Finley, welcome in. Good to have you with us. And well, how are you doing after the end of the season? Unfortunately for you, I think it's going to be a drop outside of the top 5 as far as the season standings goes. But because of race 2, effectively, how was your second race?
The second race didn't go as well. On lap 2, Fabian and Sharji went 3 wide with me, and then they crashed and I got wiped out. Just kind of an instant party in it, really. But it is what it is. Happens in racing sometimes. But yeah, the race 1 was so much fun that honestly I don't even mind.
Yeah, trying to get the bad stuff out of the way first, obviously. What was the first race like? I've got to say, probably from the commentary box, one of the best races we've seen this season. To watch, what was it like to race in and be a part of?
Oh, it was fantastic. In the mid part of the race, I saw Fabian using his battery, so I knew it was going to be important for strategy wise to make sure just hold back a couple more laps, save the battery. Ended up working out quite well. Got past him, and then it was just a one-on-one with Elliot. Some fair racing. We gave each other space. A couple of times it was very on the fine line, especially my roof into the final corner as well. It was a little bit rude, but I mean, it's all racing again. Gave him the slide job into turn 4, but no, it was really fun. Definitely made up for the crash on lap 2, but yeah, it was just push flat out. And because it's weird, Monza, it's different to other tracks where you kind of have to think about giving each other slipstream and maybe not going for it in one corner and then waiting for the straight. So it's good fun to kind of race in a different way, but it definitely gives a good way to end the season, I suppose.
Yeah, it certainly was. Congratulations on taking your 3rd win of the season in race 1 here tonight, and thanks for coming to chat to us at the end as well.
No worries. I suppose you're not broadcasting this again for next season, so hopefully I'll come across you guys again. But thank you very much. You guys have been great.
Thanks very much. That's Finley Fitzsimmons for the race 1 winning car tonight from the League Zero Super Formula Series here from Monza. I'll do the boss man last, if he doesn't mind. Antonio Bianchi is going to come and chat to us at the very end here tonight. But second of all, we'll chat to Elliot Rolls, who was up there in race 1 as well. But Elliot, welcome in. Good to have you with us. Again, get the bad stuff out the way first, if you don't mind, and chat a little bit about race 2. We were a little bit puzzled as to how you managed to speed in the pit lane, even after riding on board and watching what you were doing throughout. What was exactly going on there?
Elliot, do you have a copy?
Oh,
no,
we can't hear Elliot at the moment.
Yeah, we might have to go back to Elliot. Well,
okay,
because we'll find out about that.
Yeah, let's go. Did he leave there, or did you kick him out?
No, I didn't. He must have left.
Okay, maybe we'll should we try him again? Bring him in again, and try one more time before we leave it for a little moment. Elliot, can you hear us now? No, it doesn't sound like it, unfortunately. We can't get Elliot Rolls just for the moment, so we'll go to the other Elliot, shall we? Elliot Court, who win race number 2 here tonight from Monza. Elliot, welcome in. Good to have you with us, and congratulations on getting the best set of results out of anybody here tonight. Tell us first of all about race number 2 and how you got away from the rest of the field there early on.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you very much. I mean, I got a banging start. I didn't expect to get up to the lead from the first lap, And then I've just seen what happened behind me, which is really unlucky for Finley because I reckon he would have been my closest battle this race. But oh well, I'll take the win, first feature race of the season. I've won, so I mean it's been a long time coming, but better late than never, eh?
Yeah, well, exactly. Better late than never at the very end. Touch as well about race number 1 because that was a fantastic race to watch. Unfortunately, you just missed out on the win that maybe you felt like you would have deserved. What was your feeling at the end of that one? Was it just an enjoyment of a great race like what we had watching it?
Oh yeah, mate, that was the sprint was so fun. Me and Finley just lap after lap going at it. He got me at the end. I sort of just let him go down the inside, charitable stuff. But yeah, no, it was great fun.
It was a great watch. Elliot, thanks for coming to chat to us at the very end as well. And congratulations on getting that final win of the season in the final race.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Thanks very much. That's Elliot Court, the race winner for the final race this season in the League Zero Super Formula Championship. I'm slightly scared to give Elliot Rolls another go, to be honest, because it's a lot of awkward moments. We'll try again at the very end. We'll go to the boss man next, Antonio Bianchi, who we can chat to now. I'm sure we're interrupting everybody's conversation down there, but we've got to do it. Antonio, welcome in. Good to have you with us, and thanks for chatting to us at the very end of the season. We'll chat about your race here tonight first. How did you find Monza?
Oh, it was a bit interesting. I had to do a pit lane start there, which was a bit rough, but I ended up making my way up to a decent finishing position there, racing Gareth, I think, for, was it 10th or 11th or something like that? So that wasn't too bad. The feature race was a bit interesting, unfortunately. It ended up with, in the beginning there, I ended up trying to just go around on the grass, thinking that would be smart, and that didn't work, so that slowed me down, so I had to go around, take the little chicane, came back on, and then somebody unfortunately sent it 3 wide up the middle there, which was never really going to work. And then I lost a wing, had to recover that, and then onward from there. I made my way back up to, I don't know, what I finished 6th there or something like that.
Yeah, sixth place in the end. Yeah, which is a good recovery, all things considered. But there was so much going on in that race, as you'd, I guess, expect from this circuit. How has the season been from your point of view? Not only as a driver yourself, but also from running the league this season. I say I've thoroughly enjoyed my first season covering it from start to finish, pretty much every round. It's been a lot of fun from this side of things. How's it been from your side on the more running of the league kind of things?
It's been great. We've been actually really happy to have you guys on. We really appreciated all the efforts this season. We hope to be back at some point. We'll see how it goes. From a league perspective, not only has it been probably one of our most successful seasons, but it's also been pretty fun. I've had a bit of a rough go with a lot of DNFs. Had to miss a couple rounds as well, and then all that other fun stuff. But aside from that, like I say, it's been pretty good overall. I think everybody's had lots of fun and have enjoyed the coverage as well.
Well, I hope so. Certainly. I've got to say, a personal favourite of mine, I know that maybe you won't want to repeat this, but the second race at Fuji was some of the best sim racing I've seen in a while. For pure complete baffledness from our point of view. We get baffled quite easily, to be fair, but yeah, that was a highlight. Oh, but also, I mean, you may not have seen from where you were sat, but race 1 here tonight as well was an absolutely fantastic race as well. So yeah, a couple of highlights there from this season. But anyway, thanks for chatting to us at the end of the season, Antonio. It's been great to be here this season. We'll hope to see you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks
very much. That's Antonio Bianchi, who finishes in 6th place in the second race tonight. One of his better results this season, actually. As in the end, he finishes, I think, just inside the top 10 in the championship standings with Nicholas Isidro not here today, neither Gabriel Hopp. They weren't too far in front of him at the start of the day, so might have just jumped in front of them. We'll give Elliot Rolls one last go before we sign off here tonight at the end of this stream. Elliot, can you hear us now? And can we hear you?
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Wait, is that a rule against... Oh, no.
We got you.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we finally... we can finally hear you. I don't know what's been going on the last 10 minutes or whatever, but anyway, we can finally hear you now. I don't know if you've been able to hear us before, but anyway, congratulations on your run here tonight. We want to chat a little bit about what happened in race number 2 and how you managed to speed in the pit lane, because it was a bit of a baffler for us.
Honestly, I have no idea. The pit limiter was on. I hit my marks. I have no clue.
It seemed to me, it looked like the pit limiter sort of came off at some point. I guess by accident, I guess halfway down or something. But it was very strange. But either way, we'll talk more about race 1, because that was a better race for you. Ended up finishing inside the top 5. You managed to catch the leaders, but not quite get involved with the actual race lead. Maybe the first race a bit too short actually for you to properly get involved with it, but it must have been fun to get involved in a battle like that we saw at the end of race 1.
Yeah, it's always fun overtaking strategy. He's very aggressive, so it's always fun. Yeah, that's like, if I remember correctly, he kind of left the steering in the middle of Curva Grande, which made it very awkward to get into Curva Alboreto, I think it's called. Is it called Curva Alboreto?
Yeah,
second
these days, yeah.
Yeah. Christ. The Italians, it's like they're speaking another language.
I know, yeah. I don't normally do this, but I can't help but notice the Scottish flag on your helmet and the United Kingdom flag in your iRacing name. But excuse me for saying this, you don't sound like you've got a Scottish accent to me. What's the story behind all that, and why is a Scots person up at this time in the morning at 3:15?
Alright, yeah, no, I've not got too much of a Scottish accent, but I'm born, raised Glasgow. Don't know why I've not got the accent, but yeah.
Wow.
Dad's English, so that might explain it, but yeah.
That would maybe explain it.
Yeah, and to answer the last question, insomnia. Powerful thing.
Well, you might as well do something with it, I suppose, and be here. So why not? No, thanks for coming to chat to us at the end of the season, Elliot. Congrats on your run tonight, and thanks again.
Hi, thank you very much.
Thanks very much. That's Elliot Rawls, who chatting to us at the end of the season. 2 top 10s on the last day for him. That's just about going to do it for us here tonight. It's been a great season, Biggles. I've got to say, thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't get to watch very much Super Formula racing. I haven't watched very much before this, and I guess people would have noticed that in the first few rounds. But it's been great fun, and I think we've ended on a real high here. That first race here tonight from Monza, especially, was perhaps the best race we've seen this season.
Yeah, absolutely. It was cracker. Monza always produces, doesn't it? As drivers were saying, they can catch you off guard there. But it's also a very, very rewarding one that Elliott caught, and Fitzsimmons are going to enjoy with victories in the heat and victory into the feature race. So I think it's that we have to finally, all good things have to come to an end, my friend. And what a cracker of a season that it's been. Just to recap that one as well too, and the schedule's not all the way from the start on June the 19th. And we've gone through some fantastic track circuits and some fantastic racing, as you said, but Fiji being one of your favourites as well too. And you've seen a lot of races and called a lot of races, so that's a high praise.
Thanks for that. No, it was just because of the baffling nature of it, really. Not all out sort of great racing like what we saw here tonight. Certainly not similar in that sense, but yeah, it was great to end on a high. Big thanks to everyone who's been tuned in here tonight and chatting along with us a little bit as well. It's been a fun season, that's for sure, of the League Zero Super Formula Championship. Unfortunately, Adam Merchant not here to crown him properly, but he will be the title winner by 67 points in the end, ahead of Jaden Callaway. Noddy Amel and Elliot Court might well have to see where they come out once the standings are updated, because Noddy seems to think that he might well lose out. If they're a tie, of course, then he'd lose it on countback. But anyway, Merchant is our champion. He wins for the second time in League Zero, and a congratulations to him. I've been Neil Leary alongside D. Biggles here at the end of this season. This has been the final round of the League Zero Super Formula Championship here from Monza. Until we see him again very soon on the JP YouTube channel, it's goodbye for now.